Hey everybody! So this week on Saturday Scribbles, I'm going to go over some very simple style textures, and those are going to be glass, wood, brick, concrete, and cloth. And again, these are very simple textures. If you want a more in-depth tutorial, there are all kinds of YouTube videos out there. So this is just for a cartoonish style or just very basic style. So of course with cloth, this is more of if you held up a blanket and you saw the folds in the cloth, you have to think about the weight of the cloth and how it's laying to determine where the folds are going to be. Unfortunately, the easiest way to learn is to look at reference photos and try and fail, but then try and succeed. So you just have to practice and you'll get the hang of it. Thankfully, wood textures are very forgiving, and there's all kinds of wood textures out there. They're the pretty much straight lines only. There's some wood textures out there that have like the wavy lines in them, or you have the knots in the wood, or you have different shades of wood planks within one wood plank. So you can have a lot of fun with this one. Brick is a lot more tricky, at least for me it's a lot more tricky. Just trying to get the shapes right and try to imagine the brick paste in between the bricks and how that would affect the brick shape and texture. Even after trying several times, I still don't know how much this looks like brick versus a stony pathway, but that's okay. It looks like something. So just keep trying your best, and again, look at reference photos. If you want it to be hyper realistic, really pay attention to every little detail, every little stone and pebble and mark and crack. So I feel like concrete is deceptively hard. When you look at it, you think, oh, this isn't going to be so bad. But then you really look at it and you realize how many tiny details are in a concrete slab. And then, of course, there's all kinds of concrete slabs out there. So definitely, again, just reference photos. But there's lots of like little dark pocks in concrete, or a lot of concrete, and then there's like little hairline scratches and sometimes cracks and discoloration. So I think the easiest thing to do is to go in lightly holding your pencil, as I showed you in the beginning, just with like 2 or 3 fingers and just very lightly shading in to get a base color down. And then you don't want it to be smoothed out because you want that raggedy texture in there, rough texture in there. And then you can go in and start putting the pock marks and the indentations or whatever else you see or want on your concrete. Glass as a texture is pretty fun to play around with. You just have to remember when you draw an object that's glass, especially if it's a clear glass, because of course there's sea glass as well. If it's a clear glass, you can see through it and you can kind of see the reflections from the other side of the glass. So with this jar, you have to think about, you can see the full bottom of the glass jar, and you can see kind of the curvature from the other side of the jar. But probably the main thing with glass is the highlights, and to showcase the reflective nature of the glass. It really helps to sell it that it is glass. Your summer reading code for this week is texture. 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 Ta-da! Now, how can we use what we've learned today? I made a little bullet journal title page piece. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.